so lots to play for, and I think just going into that interval, 2-2, just about right, Federal.
Yeah, both of them played well. One or two mistakes, look a lot sharper. I feel it set up lovely for after the interval. Feel with its extra sharpness early on the season that if one player was going to pull away and win comfortably, I think more like it would be Judd. Very fortunate there. Quite a poor safety, the big target with the red to avoid any of the ball colours.
Although we're only in day 2 of the Shanghai Masters, it's got a more serious feel to it now, I think. 10-15 years ago, when we went out to tournaments, yes, ranking events and whatever in China, good top 5, Lisowski, there was still a bit of a novelty feel about some of the tournaments, wasn't there? You know, going out there, it was all new, but now this is established, and that's what you want the big tournaments to be. You want them to be established where it becomes a year-on-year thing, which I'm sure this will be going forward. So it becomes a big event, and it's really serious. There's serious money in it, we know that. £210,000 to the winner. But the handshake at the start was a little clue in that. I think we were talking about it before the interval. It's all business.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there was a time, going back into 10-15 years, when it was one of those, obviously you wanted to do well, but if you didn't, I should not to worry, I'll stay on a couple of days, and Shanghai or other places are great to see. And that was great, but in a good way, that novelty is gone. And you're going to Shanghai. Why are you going to Shanghai? It's not for sightseeing. It's for business, and serious business, because apart from the prestige and the money, it's also the players you now have to beat, which adds to it. Again, tied in the fact that I said we haven't been there for 4 years, just even adds to it as well. There seems to be even greater appetite and interest for it. If you just look at the field in the last 16, every match from here on in really could be a final. And again, also, it's not the very first tournament of the season, so players, the excuses that they haven't been playing, they're gone. So they took a break during the summer by playing maybe the Championship League or 1 or 2 qualifiers. They've practiced for that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's found a good slot in the calendar, isn't it? You know, you have a couple of tournaments. We've had the Championship League, we've had the European Masters, we've had a few qualifying stages for events, and then you go out there. So, yeah, players are that bit sharper. So.
Yeah, you don't think at all that the European Masters were like a warm-up event for this. Far from it. It's a great event in its own right, but everybody is in this, including Ronnie. So you just feel the top players are here. It is the best field. Nobody's any excuses anymore. We're into September now.
Wow.
And also, apart from just this tournament on its own, we're coming into a very busy run of tournaments. So players want to be building momentum.
Check yourself to one. Foul and there is 这个是负。
Yeah, misjudgment. The only good news, it's easy to respot the two colours. Yeah, I can understand him catching the green there. He's obviously erring on the high side of the bunch because low, but he's obviously going to leave something. He's tracking those two reds just below and to the left of the pink. No material difference to the shot, Judd's gonna. It doesn't really matter how tight he is to the yellow. Judd's gonna be going in and out of bulk anyway. That'll do. That is absolute genius.
Fantastic shot. Again, certainly 10 years or so ago, Judd wouldn't have seen the shot, or probably even looked for it.
Yeah, it was classy, wasn't it? Quickly calculated that his attempt at first time round just wasn't on, so change of plan to shot. Terrific pick out. Obviously a bit of humidity in the air, just prepping his cue for his long straight one. Long raking black, kill the cue ball stone dead.
Soft one.
Sometimes when it's a little humid, those shots are just a bit more tricky, aren't they?
Yeah, it's never a nice feeling when you're cueing and you're conscious, literally on the cue on your hand. I said, it feels like just sticking a piece.
And almost then you start trying to guide it in.
But also the fact there as well, he had to go back and clean his cue before he played the back, just taking an extra few seconds. It just seems a bigger shot when you come back to it. There's no way you wouldn't.
country, but it is a thing. It's relevant, isn't it? You know, Shanghai is that bit further south than Beijing. And Beijing's farther to the north, isn't it, where it tends to be less sticky. You get farther down to the south, then south of Shanghai you've got Guangzhou, it goes down to Hong Kong on the coast, and then off to Hainan Island in the south. It's quite, it can be really quite humid and not conducive to good queuing out there.
Yeah, and apart from that also, the conditions, it can affect the actual playing, that kind of reaction. That's kind of what Sean Murphy was talking about, having different cues for different scenarios or different conditions, and this is one of them where if you were going to change would be here because the humidity and the dampness, the white ball's not reacting the way it normally would. There's probably less throw, so do you adapt? Do you use a cue that has less throw? Or, it seems a bit of a minefield to me, but there is a difference in conditions. The balls, when it's stickier, don't react the exact same way as they would if it's a perfectly dry day.
So now, you're close to Sean, you practice a lot with him, he's our good pal. I want your verdict on that.
Yeah, I said it to him, I said, you're mad. He tried to talk me around, but I was like, no.
Yeah, he's always the innovator. So he'll actually be as good as his word going forward.
But for me, the question I asked him was, okay, apart from actually physically taking out 3 cues, at what point do you make a change? It just seemed to me like from the start, rather than concentrating on the game, you're observing and analysing the conditions. So like, do you change after 1 frame, 2 frames? Which cue? Which one do you start with? It does seem to be more of a distraction.
Yes, as you say, a bit of a minefield perhaps, but keep an interest in that as the season goes on.
Sean will be just glad we're talking about it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Sean opens his account here. Quite a wait for him. All the players have been out there doing their duties with PR and promoting the event. Starts tomorrow evening. Sean Murphy against Rob Milkins. Meanwhile, Jim Trump going along quite nicely here, isn't he?
Nice.
Control of the cue ball. Very businesslike he's been in this match today, Judd. Just quickly tell you that Kyra Wilson has got another frame on the board across the side of the arena. He's well past the post in frame 5 and is just about to close to 3-2 behind to John Higgins. So a good match in progress there too.
$15. $22.
Managed to finish between the Devil and Deep Blue Sea there, playing for a couple of reds.
23.
So had to forced actually to leave a tricky black. Yeah, well controlled, well played.
It's very assured, very focused.
31. $38. $39.
He's working hard for these points, hasn't quite been in perfect position at any stage.
$44. $45.
Yeah, that's exceptional concentration to just keep finishing. It was key, wasn't it? To finish nicely above the blue line there.
Yeah, finally got in an ideal position.
It's an attribute we don't speak about a lot, but his concentration, brilliant, Judd Trump, and he understands that there's points in matches and frames where it's important to get this shot right, because if I do, I should win the frame. That was one that last red. He just sort of set this chance up.
Yeah, rather than being frustrated, he's actually just rose and accepted the challenge.